Today is 17th September 2025, Wednesday. I am Pampa Kuchlan, a member of Hosla, a senior citizen care startup organization, reading news from Hosla Radio. Today marks the celebration of Vishwakarma Puja 2025, observed annually when the sun transits the Virgo zodiac sign. The day is dedicated to Lord Vishwakarma, the divine architect and engineer of the gods, and is celebrated with great enthusiasm, particularly in West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, and several parts of eastern and northern India. So, on behalf of Hosla, I thank and bow to those hands that build and create. Happy Vishwakarma Puja to all hard-working souls. Here are the headlines. Discovery of strongest sign of life on Mars. India-US trade talks. Delhi BMW accident. Floods, landslide, wreak havoc in Dehradun. PM gets call from US President Modi. Thanks for birthday wishes. Indian motel manager beheaded in US. Pakistan pushes for Islamic NATO. India's deep concern about Israel's recent attack in Doha. PM stresses on enhanced operational readiness for armed forces. Fresh violence erupts in Manipur. Indo-Nepal border reopens. Apex Court refuses to stay Waqf Amendment Act in entirety. INS Nistar enhances global maritime rescue. Various news of West Bengal. Asia Cup. No handshake controversy. Now, coming to details. Life on Mars. Strongest sign of life on Mars. September 16. NASA's Perseverance rover has uncovered what scientists described as the most compelling evidence yet of possible life on Mars. A mudstone core drilled in July 2024 from a rock named Chivaya Falls within the Bright Angel region of Jezero crater has revealed minerals and textures commonly linked with microbial activity on Earth. The sample contains vivianite and iron phosphate and greigite and iron sulfide, both often found in water-rich, oxygen-poor environments. These patterns, including leopard spot textures, suggest ancient chemical reactions that may have supported microbial life. While NASA stresses this is not proof of life, the findings represent the closest scientists have come to identifying a potential biosignature on the red planet. Now coming to other news. India-US hold trade talks. Both sides describe them as positive. September 16, 2025. Talks between the US and India on bilateral trade agreement, the first since 50% tariffs were imposed by Donald Trump, have been described by both sides as positive. Assistant US Trade Representative Brendan Lynch had a positive meeting in Delhi with his counterpart, Ministry of Commerce and Industries Special Secretary Rajesh Agrawal on September 16 to discuss next steps in bilateral trade negotiations, the US Embassy spokesperson said after the talks on Tuesday. A statement by Ministry of Commerce and Industry soon after expressed a similar sentiment and said both countries have decided to ramp up efforts to arrive at a trade deal. Delhi BMW accident. On stretcher waves final touch to Navjot Singh's lifeless face as family chokes back sobs. September 16, New Delhi. On a humid Tuesday afternoon, grief hung heavy at Venkateshwar Hospital in Delhi's Dwarka. Two stretchers lay side by side, one carrying the body of Deputy Secretary in the Economic Affairs Department of the Finance Ministry Central, Navjot Singh, and the other holding his battered wife, Sandeep Kaur. The woman is being treated at the hospital. A couple's Sunday ride ended in tragedy when a speeding BMW collided with them, killing Navjot Singh and injuring his wife Sandeep Kaur. At least 13 dead, 16 missing as floods, landslides wreak havoc in Dehradun neighboring areas. 16 September 2025. Dehradun. The retreating monsoon has unleashed a fresh wave of devastation across Uttarakhand, particularly in the capital city of Dehradun, where a series of cloudbursts and relentless heavy rainfall have claimed at least 13 lives and left 16 people missing. The catastrophic downpour, which began Monday night, has caused widespread destruction, washing away roads, bridges, and homes, and turning rivers into raging torrents. Officials feared the death toll could rise significantly, with preliminary estimates suggesting around 25 fatalities. The administration has confirmed 13 deaths, while 16 individuals remain unaccounted for following the extreme rainfall, a district official stated. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami conducted ground inspections of the affected areas such as Maldevta and Kesharwala. He directed officials to expedite relief and rescue operations, assuring the affected families of full government support. US President dials PM. Modi thanks friend Trump for birthday wishes. 16 September 2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday thanked US President Donald Trump for his 75th birthday greetings during a phone call in which he also backed Trump's initiative for peaceful resolution. PM Modi said he is fully committed to taking the India-US comprehensive and global partnership to new heights. Trump vows tough action after beheading of Indian motel manager. BBC News, Delhi, 15 September 2025. US President Donald Trump has strongly condemned the beheading of an Indian origin hotel manager allegedly by a Cuban illegal immigrant in Dallas last week. The time for being soft on these illegal immigrant criminals is over under my watch, Trump said in a post on his Truth Social platform. Chandramouli Naga Malaya 50 was attacked with a machete by his co-worker Yordanis Cobus Martinez in front of his wife and child following a heated argument over a broken washing machine. The accused, who is now in custody, has been charged with murder. Trump has long vowed tougher enforcement against undocumented migrants, making it a central plank of his policy. Trump said Mr. Cobus Martinez will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and will be charged with murder in the first degree. Pakistan pushes for Islamic NATO. What in it for India? New Delhi, September 16, 2025. When leaders from over 40 Arab and Islamic nations convened an emergency summit in Doha on Monday, the agenda was to deliver a united response to Israel following its strike on Hamas leaders in the Qatari capital last week. Although the discussions produced little beyond condemnation and vague pledges, the idea of NATO-style military alliance for member states got a loud cheer. The meeting was attended by both Pakistan and Turkey. With Pakistan the only nuclear-armed country and Turkey a NATO member that backed Islamabad against India with arms and personnel during the 4-day mini-war in the fold, the likelihood of an Arab Islamic NATO could bring some unease in New Delhi. Deeply concerned, India at United Nations condemns Israeli strikes in Qatar. New Delhi. India on Tuesday expressed deep concern about Israel's recent attack in Doha and unequivocally condemned the violation of the sovereignty of Qatar. Last week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke with the Emir of Qatar and condemned the violation of the sovereignty of the Gulf nation. PM stresses on integrated effort, innovation for enhanced operational readiness for armed forces. Amidst the ongoing talks related to creation of theatre commands, Prime Minister Narendra Modi instructed the Ministry of Defence to swiftly implement concrete steps to achieve greater jointness between armed forces of India in order to meet future challenges and to prevail against any eventuality. Modi was speaking at the 16th Combined Commanders Conference inaugurated at the Eastern Command headquarters at Bijay Durg, formerly known as Fort Williams in Kolkata on 15th September. Fresh violence erupts in Manipur, 15th September. Days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, tensions flared in the Churachandpur district of Manipur after the residences of several prominent Kuki-Jo leaders came under attack by unidentified miscreants. The House of Kelvin, External Secretary of Kuki National Organization (KNO), was set ablaze while the residences of other leaders narrowly escaped destruction. The Prime Minister, who addressed the state for the first time in 2 years since the ethnic violence erupted in May 2023, had appealed for reconciliation and assured that the centre stood firmly with the people of Manipur. Despite his call, with simmering tensions, authorities have placed security forces on high alert in Churachandpur to prevent further escalation. Indo-Nepal border reopens Siliguri, 15th September. The India-Nepal border at Panitanki under Naxalbari block in Darjeeling district has been fully reopened after temporary restrictions caused by recent protest in Nepal. This was confirmed by Darjeeling MP Raju Bista following his visit to the area on Monday afternoon. The Inspector General of Sashastra Sima Bal, senior customs officials, citizens, traders, and business community representatives were interacted with during the inspection. With the full reopening of the border, normalcy is expected to return to trade and cross-border movement between India and Nepal. Apex Court refuses to stay Waqf Amendment Act in entirety, New Delhi, 15th September. The Supreme Court on Monday declined to stay the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 in its entirety but put on hold certain specific provisions that it felt could lead to arbitrary exercise of power by the government and are in violation of the principles of separation of power enshrined in the Constitution, with the executive taking upon its self-adjudicatory role, which is otherwise reserved for judicial and quasi-judicial authority. INS Nistar enhances global maritime rescue interoperability. New Delhi, 15th September. Indian Navy's latest indigenously designed and constructed diving support vessel DSV INS Nistar made its maiden port call at Changi, Singapore. The ship, functioning under the command and control of the flag officer commanding Eastern Fleet, will be participating in the multinational exercise Pacific Reach 2025 to be commenced on Monday. In a statement, the naval spokesperson said that INS Nistar, commissioned on 18th July, is a shining example of India's self-reliance and progress towards achieving Atmanirbharata in shipbuilding and has been able to achieve more than 80% indigenization. Justice Showmanson, named acting Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court. Calcutta High Court's second most senior judge, Justice Showmanson, was appointed as the acting Chief Justice following the retirement of Chief Justice T.S. Sivagnanam on Monday. Dakshineshwar incident, stabbing and murder at Dakshineshwar metro station on Friday in the broad daylight brought several concerns of safety and security of passengers. Terming the incident as unfortunate, the Metro Railway Office in its statement reiterated that it was a one-off incident involving school-going boys. The authorities have requested the passengers to follow security protocols and not to bypass the door frame metal detectors and baggage scanners at the metro station. ED tracks suspicious bank transactions at rupees 13 crore linked to State Minister, Kolkata, 15th September. The Enforcement Directorate ED officials probing the multi-crore cash for school job case in West Bengal have tracked illegal transaction worth rupees 12.73 crore, which are reportedly linked to irregularities in recruitments of primary teachers in the state in the bank accounts held by minister in charge of the state's correctional services as well as the micro, small and medium enterprises and textile departments, Chandranath Sinha, his wife and son. The ED officials have provided the details of such fictitious transactions in its sixth supplementary charge sheet at a special court of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act in Kolkata last week. Asia Cup. Pak threatened to boycott next match if ICC fails to act against match referee. The Indian cricket team's refusal to shake hands with Pakistan following Sunday's Asia Cup fixture in Dubai has agitated the Pakistan Cricket Board to an extent that they are now demanding the removal of match referee Andy Pycroft from the remainder of the tournament. PCB had alleged that Pycroft had requested the captains not to shake hands at the toss as is customary. Following India's win, the Indian players on the field, Captain Surya Kumar Yadav and Shivam Dubey, walked back to their dressing room without the customary handshake, leaving the Pakistan camp surprised. Pakistan's team managers spoke to tournament director Andrew Russell seeking an explanation but was told that it was down to the line BCCI had taken on the matter following the discussion with the Indian government. Later, India skipper Surya Kumar Yadav offered a pointed clarification that the Indian government and the BCCI were aligned on the matter. I am concluding here today. Stay healthy and blessed. Good night.